so passionate, so it's incredible.
So welcome to the next track introduction. We're at Silverstone GP Circuit, one of the most iconic tracks in our calendar this year. And coming out of the last corner, we're accelerating out on the international pit straight, and I'll take you for a lap as always. So run wide, take your speed, orientate to the left, clip the curb on the left side for the entry, then take as much apex as you can and carry the speed over through the first two corners. Orientate to the left, brake at the 100-meter board, second gear, first hairpin. And then orientate again to the right and take the apex of the second hairpin, which is a little bit easier with triple screens. Focus on the exit, don't touch the grass like I did at this moment, and take all the speed you can have onto the Wellington Street. So we're staying on the right side, orientating again, 100-meter board, very early apex, and then a very sharp apex, running wide through Brooklands, and then Luffield, where you can take different lines. There's a tight line and two apex lines. Stay patient on the throttle and run as wide as you can without taking the off track. So Woodcock corner, obviously full throttle, flat out. Then we're waiting for the change of tarmac. Downshift to fourth gear, take the apex of the corner in Copse, and then run wide again without taking the off track. We're coming up to the famous part of the track, Maggotts, Becketts, and Chapel. So fifth gear, first apex, fifth gear, second corner, fourth gear, and the third corner, third gear. Stay patient again and carry as much speed as you can onto the Hangar Straight. Hangar Straight, one of the most iconic overtaking spots this time as we're coming up to Stowe Corner. Again, we're orientating from the curb on the left side. Third gear, very late apex, as late as you can, and then run wide without getting the off track, which is very prone in this corner. So last chicane, again, curb is the braking point, second gear. Patient on the switchback, on the weight transfer, and then accelerate as early as you can. Make sure you have the traction because you have to steer a little bit, and that is one lap on Silverstone Circuit, Silverstone GP Circuit.
Yeah, welcome ladies and gentlemen to already the qualifying session here of the Nürburgring Esports round number 4, this time around Silverstone Circuit. Now, I am beyond excited for this one, I gotta say. It's looking to be a pretty fun one here. Now we've got the TCR cars out there on track right now. It's going to be quite an interesting one. It is going to be one of those races where, you know, I must say Silverstone isn't a great track for spectating. I've been there before, but for racing, it's a lot of fun. And in multi-class, it will be interesting to see how this all pans out at the end. So we'll keep our eyes out on that. So for now, this is looking pretty good, I gotta say. Obviously, as always, we've got the high-level drivers in that we normally do. No big surprises in terms of the names at the top of the scoreboard usually. You know, if you're Fabian Klein, for example, Christian Schreiber is also out there usually. But yeah, this is currently qualifying. Oh, that's a little bit sketchy there for Christian Schreiber, but he's able to save it. And yeah, you know, this time around, just gonna be curious to see what these drivers can do, as we're currently in the server ready to go. Yeah, it will be just one of those races where, now, anything can really happen, it feels like. And obviously, we've already had some pretty good races coming in this time around. So it's going to be interesting to see how things align. And yeah, another thing that we need to keep our eyes out is also just how are these TCRs going to fare compared to the GT3 cars. I feel like Silverstone's a pretty difficult track for these front-wheel drive cars. Obviously, understeer just really being annoying on this track. You've got some tricky corners in there. But these drivers, like Ingo Werner, like Fabian Klein, will be trying to make things work no matter what. And we're just going to be seeing how they do it. So, yeah, let's keep our eyes out on that one. I'm really curious how this will play out. Currently, this is Ingo Werner we're watching. Trying to set his fastest lap time. Currently, times to beat are quite big in between them. This is Fabian Spies we are aboard with. Trying to make something work here. Yeah. Renault Megane, but he's gone a little bit off there, and that's going to cost him valuable time this time around, unfortunately. We'll keep our eyes out. This is Florian we're currently watching, still out there trying to get some good laps. And keep in mind that after 10 minutes, we release the GT3 cars, and that's where it becomes tricky to get around. This is Racing Mario we're watching. Driving from the Cologne location. So anything can really happen this time around. So this is what it currently stands on then. Alexander Hawk, once again a driver that will be watching. I think it's currently going well. Alexander Hawk is trying to make the most out of it, of course. Currently third fastest here, but very close to the time of Ingo Werner. Interesting to see. Currently in the beautiful Toyota touring car that you normally only really see in the TC America category. It's quite an interesting car. Turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol car, and I think just very beautiful car. Obviously Toyota being quite a big name in motorsports nowadays, and hypercars in the World Endurance Championship. Obviously that's what we did last season. But there's some more. The one that comes to mind is the World Rally Championship, where they're currently leading. As well as NASCAR, of course. But they also do have a touring car available. Obviously, we'll soon also represent GT3 classes with a new car, so that'll be interesting to watch. Ingo Werner watching, could just see the heats break up, the brake heat up there. Fabian Klein currently almost 3 seconds quicker, which is rather impressive, I must say. So we'll see if they can get over that. So Ingoana goes back into the pits here. So yeah, some first times are coming in, and we're seeing quite big differences there. So we keep our eyes out here. This is Maxinis we are currently watching, also trying to see just what else we could be seeing in here. So far all seems good. Maxinis currently in P10. Trying to make it work, but can't really get to it right now. But obviously the GT3s have been released, and it's going to be interesting to see how they follow along in this journey, because they're not going to get into the way of the TCR cars. Their best opportunities to set good times are going to be the favorite. And Christopher Rime is coming around. Currently P14. Just trying to see if you can make the most work. So far all seems alright for him though, but obviously these kind of warm-up laps, they don't really affect too much here. As Max Gries de Blauw is once again out there now. No surprise to these, always one of the quicker ones. He has shown this many times that he does have the pace for it. You can just see the sheer difference in speed there. It's going to be even worse in the cornering, you know, so yeah. That will be quite difficult to catch here. Christian Schreiber, you can also see that he's currently going down the order, but that's because of the GT3 setting the first time laps, so don't worry about it. He's actually not losing positions as quick as it looks. It's Michael Bauer currently watching the first sub 2 minute time here at Silverstone. Michael Bauer is also a driver that just generally tends to do well. However, still got a lot to go because he missed the first 2 races of the season. He's actually finding himself here in P12 still. Obviously, we have a new date for the race over at the Red Bull Ring. So this is technically only the 3rd race that is actually going to be an opportunity to score points. So points will be applied later on, and that will shake up the order. Sebastian Haas comes quick now. That's obviously no surprise. He came 2nd at Laguna Seca and won the race over at Spa-Francorchamps. And it was the other way around for Maximilian Röhrig, so currently standing tight in the championship. So it's a good chance here that we'll actually have a definitive leader at the end of it. Assuming that they do as well as normally. Now this is Benjamin Vidlak we're watching. He's currently in P16. Just a couple minutes to go. We should be seeing an end to the TCRs quite soon. And then the GT3s have more opportunities to set some actual fast laps. Some of these drivers are yet to set good extra time. So all is good for now. Time's obviously limited. Alexander Hawk here coming around. A decent place currently in his class, P4 as it stands right now. Looking to see if it's possible to maybe get an improvement on that, but currently lap deltas are not showing that he's got the pace for it, but time's running out, so he's got to do it shortly. It's also going to be a while until the CRs, of course, or well, the GT3s rather are out of the way. I mean, they won't really be. It's just about timing now, unfortunately for them. Overall, I think you can look back at it at quite a good season so far. For some of these drivers, like we see in the top of the TCR standings, right? You think, for example, Fabian Klein currently 2 for 2 in his Hyundai Elantra N, and he's just had some really, really good laps in. So impressive stuff here ahead. Obviously, the TCR class also being a lot smaller, more niche than the GT3 class in this instance. This is Jan Schnutken, always a driver who's pretty quick, but hasn't had the pace yet here to really fight for the top positions, but consistent racing has really brought him quite far up in the standings. So he hasn't really gotten a win or a P2 or anything like that yet, but he has scored some decent points in both rounds of the season so far, 12 and 8 respectively. So 20 points for him in total, which is a pretty good result. But obviously drivers like Jeremy Bauer, who actually missed the race at Spa, did score 17 points, and then he's just basically made all of it up by just only one race to go. So in that sense, it's a little bit of a tough one, I gotta say. As things go their way, everything is looking good to plan. Yeah, so things continue as they stand right now. Say that there's apologies me, there's some issues with my sound, it seems. That should have fixed itself now, apologies for that. Now, Jan Schnutken is, however, looking good this qualifying session so far, you'd think, but he's got so much more ground to win because the times are just absolutely stunning right now. I mean, we've got the first 58s on the board. Maximilian Rory currently with the 158.260, followed by the 158.994 of Sebastian Haas, as they're close to each other. That shouldn't really surprise anyone. They've really been the quickest. The both of them are just absolutely nailing it so far. I must say that I'm just really, really impressed by how it's been going for them so far. Schnutken, however, has to take a slight detour there. Schnutken just doing whatever he can do. As we wait it out, everything is currently good to go. Schnutken's just looking to see if he could maybe post a faster time. Currently, we're not seeing it, unfortunately. Snutkan currently finding himself in P10 overall, so he's even dropped a place now. It's a shame. I think he can do a little bit better maybe, but we gotta just see and find out for ourselves. This is Norbert Dewalt we are currently aboard with. P5 as he gets dropped one position. Patrick Siska sneller, faster than him right now. So everything is going according to plan right now. Norbert Dewalt, though, it's going to be a decent position. Obviously, we had some issues last time around with the driving standards, so I'm hoping that we can up this race. That would be nice. So far, the overall is good, and I'm expecting things to stay that way. Maximilian Rurick currently the fastest driver out there, but obviously time is of the essence here. And with obviously all TCRs off the track now, just a little bit over 5 minutes to go. 5.5-ish minutes. It should just be walk in the park here for Maximilian Rurick and Sebastian Haase, who are currently just now 4/10 quicker than basically anybody else on track. It makes me think that there's a good opportunity here for some of these drivers to really get ahead and win some time here for everyone. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to follow along how it goes. Dewalt here so far posted some impressive times and will obviously continue to do so over time. Never possible. Just really gotta make it count over here, you know. It's exactly what he's currently doing. This Kilian Lutterbach, a driver we also expect to be quite far up front usually. Not always, there's no such thing as guarantees in competition like this, but yeah, usually a driver who's pretty far up there and always seems to just deliver some consistent performances over at the front. That's currently exactly what I'm seeing and also expecting to see from him, really. That's what I know him to be good at, and currently that's exactly what we're getting. So we'll have to just keep our eyes out here, see what he can do in the near future. But I'm convinced that it's gonna be quite alright. And yeah, so far so good then. This is Cedric Abiadi we're currently aboard with in the Ford Mustang GT3. I think one of the most good-looking Mustangs out there, or just any GT3 car, I'd argue that maybe it's just one of the better looking ones. And now, so far so good. Everything's looking to be going to plan here. This is Nola Cherie we are currently aboard with. And no one, I think, is still yet to score any points this season. I think this might be his... Yeah, no, okay, so he has attended both races, but yet to score any points in these. Well, I did see that correctly, unfortunately for him. But I bet it must be frustrating then. Obviously, it's got a long way to go. Anything can still happen. Obviously, drivers know that too. So their focus is going to be just up on how do I make sure we get the most out of this. Such a short period of time. 75 minutes always flies past. At least that's what it feels like to me. It's currently is in P18 overall. Now, he is faster than all the TCRs, as all GT3 drivers currently are. Supposed to be expected here. The difference, the balance of performance and such is obviously quite significant. So, yeah, we do see those changes coming out and around, and we'll see. This sparks my curiosity as to which drivers we're going to see get a little bit more comfortable. Maybe haven't had all the laps on the sim that they wanted to. That's going to be, to me, the most interesting part. Currently, everything is totally all right. This is also what it looks like here for the Nürburgring location in Normandy, what we are the driver aboard with. But it's always interesting to me to just see what it looks like for all the drivers, and gives you some perspective of the atmosphere in those kind of locations. I think it's just pretty awesome always to see those drivers. You can see their real inputs, you can see what they experience from a screen. And keep in mind that they're in this very nice, kind of secluded 6DOF race sim. And always, to me, an impressive one. So far here, so good. All the drivers getting in some decent times and very little on-track action in the sense that things have gone wrong. Impressive 1:57s now. Maximilian Röhrig, that's actually just a second quicker than Sebastian Haase right now, which is just absolutely stunning if you ask me. That is just, yeah, I want to say even beyond impressive. It really is. That's how things are currently going within the team. Lutterbach doing well, and once again you can see just how the Koblenz location looks like. More of a bar kind of atmosphere. I think a smaller location than the Nürburgring, being obviously the main one. Some are actually even smaller. It's always interesting to also see the ones in Switzerland. Obviously Switzerland doesn't have a huge motorsports environment in that sense, but very popular for sim racing, and obviously very close to some awesome Italian tracks. So usually the Swiss fans gonna do it with sim racing. They've got some cool hill climb events, and I think rallying is a pretty big thing there, but no permanent circus. That's actually an interesting kind of fact there about Switzerland. It just never really happened when it comes to racing. And yeah, basically they used to always have a Swiss Grand Prix somewhere in the 1980s. But they had a federal ban on all circuit motor racing after a disaster at Le Mans, where a Mercedes-Benz crashed into spectators. And yeah, they, rather than a temporary suspension, got a ban, which is lifted by now. I think as of yesterday, if I recall this correctly. However, currently you still run into issues such as local opposition, land constraints, obviously those kind of things. But it would be technically possible to do. And they do have one, yeah, very small track there now, which I think is mainly used for karting and some moto stuff. But we see Max Friese de Blauw coming to a stop as time is officially over. All the drivers will head into the pits. It's going to be Maximilian Röhrig here on pole position. 1:57.773, and nobody ever really came close to it. Just impressive stuff all ahead. So, well, the last drivers are coming in. And all the last times have been set, in which we're not going to see anything change, really. Let's have a look here at the calendar for this year. So, as I mentioned before, it is a new date for the Red Bull Ring. It's going to be 16th of July. I think that one might only have a German stream, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. And this is Silverstone. You're watching round 4, but technically the third round, as this will be an interesting one to me. Now, in terms of the GT3 standings, this is what it looks like. It is 45 points for Röhrig and Haase and Kilian Lutterbach in P3, but everything's still up for grabs here. Points are still very close within each other. And then TCR this is what it looks like then. It is going to be Klein here currently in the lead. So yeah, Fabian Klein in his Hyundai, so far 2 for 2. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do in this race here, and we'll see how things go. But for now, we are getting ready for our race here over at Silverstone. So we're going to be taking a little bit of a break, and once we're back, we're going to enjoy 75 minutes here of Silverstone.
The atmosphere, the people here around are so passionate, so it's incredible.
I get goosebumps every time I see this.
The Nürburgring is really a very special place, and it's a very difficult place.
Very, very good to have all these fans back here in the home of motorsport.
atmosphere. It's the calm before the storm.
atmosphere, the people here around are so passionate, so it's incredible.
I get goosebumps every time I see this.
The Nürburgring is really a very special place, and it's a very difficult place.
So it's very, very good to have all these fans back here in the home of motorsport.
I love this atmosphere. It's the calm before the storm.
We're here, about to start with the 75 minutes of Silverstone, and Maximilian Röhrig currently is in prime position to score some good points here, starting from pole. Now let's see if he can actually make up to that, if he actually can get a good result with it, because nothing's guaranteed. We have absolutely seen that before. It's gonna be interesting to just watch everything go to plan, or maybe not go to plan. Silverstone's not an easy track, so who knows what this can bring along. We're just gotta find out here. And so we see just that the pace is coming up a little bit here. All the drivers need to be careful though to not hit each other. And well, soon obviously will be released. Currently we are behind this safety car. So here we look to go. Obviously, there's a bit of a distance here over towards the TCR cars as they're released separately. And also make sure that we get into the incident straight away where the TCRs overtake all the GT3s, because that would be a little bit unfortunate for any of these drivers. Yeah, everything going to plan here. Let's see how these drivers make it off then. See a jump start coming out. Let's see how this actually goes. See, we are now well on the way. Eric leads. This is his second position for a bit, but overall it's going to be interesting to see just how these stop and goes will come out immediately. We see those jump starts coming in. And it's Andre Hennes we are aboard with, currently stuck behind Marco Convertini. In the first lap, it's mainly about making sure you're not taking any damage and avoid all the silly things. That usually, and I say usually because it's never a guarantee at all, but it usually nets you the best opportunity to kind of win things out. And Andre Hennes currently in P8 would also very much like to contribute. He is currently trying to set himself up for success. Still a long way to go from this Michael Barrow that we are currently watching. He's currently chasing down Norbert Dewald, who's currently ahead of him in the BMW M4. Currently we see no kind of differences immediately here. Just everything going the way you should expect, and actually it's been a rather clean race. I mean, sure, we've seen some drivers fall back here, but it's really nothing out of the ordinary, and I wonder just how they're going at this here. The Lexus, because obviously it's going to be an even more interesting one to me. We gotta see it. Sure that everything is going to be totally all right. Eventually, we just gotta see how they approach things here. So far, so good. And also another interesting pole fish just to see how the incline is set his eyes up, trying to make something work here. Done a good job at that, I gotta say. Giovanni trying to go out. More penalties are being handed out right now. So it's Alexander Holger trying to chase this Rudy Hamsur we were with, driving from the Koblenz position, or well, just the Koblenz Esports Cafe, if you want to call it that. Interesting for sure to see just how that pans out for them. Obviously, they've got a long way to go. Drivers know this. So far, so good. This is Racing Mario we're currently watching, driving from the Cologne location. Now, Cologne's an interesting one to me. It's a beautiful city, first of all. You guys all know this. It's a little bit of a smaller one. It's actually one of the more recent additions to the Nürburgring Esports roster, too. So, you know, I'm keeping it in mind, just seeing if we can see any talent and such emerging from there. That's something that I do want to try and keep my eyes out on. This is Daniele Gattani we are aboard with. So we'll see if everything's going to plan here. And it does really look like it though. I mean, so far it's been a very clean race here over at Silverstone. Sure, we do have some contacts here, and you see that Gattani and Nolan Shali, for example, have just collided. And as I say that, there's a driver going off in the background. Maybe spoke just a little bit too soon there, but I guess that is what happens here. We're watching along with Michael Bauer here, who's in the Lexus GT3 car. That's going rather well, actually. Gotta keep our eyes out here. So we see just where this leads. Max Priest de Blauw we're watching in the Corvette, a loyal Corvette driver. Has been in that vehicle for a while now, and there's no point in changing because it clearly, very clearly, just seems to work out for him. Convertini still in his trusty Aston Martin. Hoping also to make the most out of it. And currently, looks like the camera's a little bit frozen there, but all the drivers going at it and doing their best to give you a good impression of what this looks like, as we see Tani getting a little bit there of a penalty on the race direction. So, given that that can happen sometimes, sure, it's not great, but this vehicle workaround, and Johannes had a little bit of a moment there. Makes me think that there's been contact of some sort. Who knows, it's always a little bit difficult to say, really. So far here, so good. Johannes just trying to make the most out of it. So Alexander Hawk here just getting in with the Audi RS3 to the side of it. Looks like Benjamin Fidelak might just take that position for him. I mean, he's trying to get a gap out of it, which will be harder than it maybe looks, but it's actually brought some pretty nice positions as they stand right now. Clear to say that these drivers are all going to have a good result. That is, I think, one thing that is guaranteed for them, you know, because everybody's improving. It's good fun to watch all these drivers have at each other. Schön also coming around then. This is Vincent Valenzuela we are currently aboard with. Looking to see what he can do here up the inside of Nolan Cherie. It's an aggressive move, but it might just be a good one here. I think that is a very valid attempt there. We'll keep that position for any of these further fights. It's great stuff to see here. Michael Bowers is also getting himself a little bit involved up in this traffic now. It's the Renault that's in the way and just about past the Audi RS3 there. So things continue. Michael Bauer we're currently watching. Bauer defending here from Max Greaves behind him. Jan Schnutken also just trying to escape ahead of him. We're currently not seeing much change around there for now. It's still the same order that we are expecting to see from them, and just trying to make a good go out of it here. Obviously catching up with the Cupra here, so you need to just be a little bit careful. But so far so good. Here we have a stop and go for disobeying. Oh, and there Michael Bauer makes contact, goes off. It's a rare mistake there from whoever you want to put that to. You know that is just very frustrating here. He was doing quite well here. Can just really kind of just start over again, it feels like, you know. Still so much time now. We're currently close to the Porsche of Andre Rennes. Or Hennes, excuse me. And he's going to dive down the inside and take that position pretty easily. We also see a little bit of a lockup there from the TCR ahead. I think will become a thing. Yeah, the flashes are there, and this is an aggressive send here from Michael Bauer. You can tell that he clearly wants to get by and that he really wants to try and make up as much time as possible. And, you know, for me, it is also just going to be interesting to see just how this traffic management in the end will really play a role. It's 75 minutes. It definitely is a thing. This is then just how to do it. Michael Bauer's just not going to complain. He's just going to try and make a little bit of a comeback from this. Cedric Abiadi has had a moment in his Mustang. Finds himself currently not in a position that he wanted to be. Yeah, tries to make something work here. Alexander Erben, where is he? Oh, is that he? Yeah, rejoining now. I think that might have been. Oh, frustrating to see the least of that was really. Yeah, we are seeing some, you know, some big moments here. Fortunately. To back then, still in second position. Maximilian Rorik currently seems to be the quickest overall here. Bastien Haas is fallen down a little bit in the order compared to where he started. Obviously now in P5, and with just about 56 minutes left to go. Should be looking to improve on that soon. And this is the current leader then, Maximilian Roerig. Once again, so far, just a standout performance. Very solid. Good to see any kind of changes, really. Sebastian Fidelak is looking to just make up all the time that he possibly could in a race like this. I mean, sure, it is a good position for him to finish P5, but, you know, trying to go up that upwards trend of scoring more and more points every time, he needs to do better. It's 12 points that he had in the last race over at Laguna Seca. Obviously quite a while ago now. Drivers obviously had that Red Bull Ring race that was unfortunately called off just a little bit afterwards. The driving standards were not up to par that race, and that's why they have decided to do so. Which I think is a bold yet also kind of wise decision. You know, it really shows that Nürburgring Esports wants to take this seriously and doing anything possible make that work. So impressive stuff ahead then. Schön is trying to chase down Norbert Diewald here for the 7th position. Yeah, Ferrari 296 GT3. Diewald driving this BMW. Has been loyal to that for a while. We have a long pits there coming out. Anzuela is gonna grab that one. It's a big shame, really. I was hoping for just a little bit of a better result, but yeah, this is going to be a little bit of an awkward one. And now also just the GT3 is getting into the way and fiddling in these kind of GT3 race. You know, you kind of don't want DTCRs to be here, but that's all part of the class racing. And oh, there's the contact being made. Saves it though. Front wheel drive helps a lot there. You can get on the power, you can get away, and Toyota was also nice enough to just kind of wait it out a little bit more. You know, you wanted to make sure that you don't do anything that is just, you know, kind of disrespectful. So that way he kind of also hopes to avoid a penalty. But now the one that we see behind, the Cupra, has also come in and gonna try and shake things up a little bit. So the races continue here. We do see more penalties being applied here. 5 seconds for from race direction rather. And you know, we do have live stewarding, which I think just adds such a big layer to this, is you can't just try and cheese your way out of it like you can in these races that have automated kind of stewarding. No, this time you actually need to work hard for it. Interestingly enough. So as the race continues here, drivers looking to set good race pace in are pressing forward, and you're doing quite the job here at keeping things together. They're doing exactly that right now. So far, so good here. The drivers that are Everything's relatively clean. It's a much better race than we had seen earlier. I think that is at least completely fair to say. So yeah, drivers will continue making their way forward here. As Alexander Eberhard is still trying to defend from that Cooper behind. We haven't really seen a move now coming in from behind. It is Damiano Vomaro who's behind the Cooper Leon. Obviously, as penalties are being served up, you do see the positions changing a little bit here. We obviously see Anthony Mottas being quite far behind, stuck in the pits. I think he was the one that got disqualified earlier. Shame, but you gotta abide by the rules, and these drivers, they do get briefed for the beginning of the race. So, in that sense, you know, I don't expect these things to happen as often as they do, but obviously when you're in the heat of a moment, it is also quite difficult. This is Marcus Schoen that we are currently watching. Jan Schnitgen also trying to just see if he can maybe get away something here. He's currently a little bit ahead, a little bit less than a second. It's 8 tenths between them, going down to 7 tenths of a second, excuse me, once in a while. So Fabian Spies is currently being overtaken by some of these faster GT3 drivers. Obviously not really comparable driving their own race. Daniele Gattani's got another penalty. And Patrick Siske here has had a little bit of a moment. He was in a really good position. This is costing him valuable time here. And can really just stop chasing Kylian Lutterbach at this point. It's 15 seconds now between them, but going up to 20. Unfortunate, really. That things like that happens from time to time, but unfortunately that's just how it is. Here we see long pits being served. Christopher Rime driving from the Roche location, serving long pits, avoiding being disqualified that way, and yeah, it will cost just a little bit of extra time added to the pits there, but unfortunately that is just what it is. So things move on. Cars continuing just to do their own thing and to make a good result from that. See if they can actually though, because it's gonna take a while until the field kind of tightens up again. 47 minutes to go here, so half an hour into the race here. Current status is that Max Mini Röhrig is leading by about 13 seconds, being followed by Kylian Lutterbach and Sebastian Haas, who's back up to P3. It's Jonathan Fidelak behind that. Patrick Siska unfortunately making a mistake and losing just so much time there in the process. So yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate by him. Unfortunately, you know, that's all part of racing, and the drivers, they know that too. So, you know, we just got to keep our eyes out here. I mean that everything can still change. It's just that it might actually take a moment, so... Yeah, we'll keep our eyes open here for possibility for things to change. So your Koch we're currently aboard with. Just trying to make the most out of this chaotic race right now. Obviously, have below the average, and this time obviously a very different split GT3s compared to we saw earlier. This is your Koch that we're currently watching again. Copse currently in P9. Trying to make the most out of it here. Let's see if they can though. Everything's still possible very much so far, but it's been an enjoyable race. Obviously with a little bit less action in the sense of chaotic crashing, and maybe that's why it's good that we have a track like this one out there. Next up, we're obviously headed to the Nürburgring again. That was a little bit chaotic last time. Portimao was the track that was scheduled afterwards, and that's a little bit of a tighter one. It makes for good multi-class racing, right? There's a reason that it's on the calendar. In, for example, just to name one, the European Le Mans series, right? But also obviously in plenty more, it has been a valid track to be racing at, and it's also one that has some tricky corners. It's just such an awesome circuit to be around in general. See, being one that has formerly hosted like the Le Mans series, but so did the the WTSC, Formula 1, you name it. It has mainly just been single class or single make series. Or some exceptions, of course. I mean, obviously the most interesting one still being the Le Mans series, just being a greater one. But yeah, hosting also MotoGP, for example, it's just been a good one. So I think, they've done a good job with the calendar. I have some tracks, obviously, that I would love to have on the calendar a little bit later on too, but gotta keep our eyes out. See if that actually ends up taking place a little bit later. Although, it's been an enjoyable race so far here at Silverstone. So things continue the way as they stand right now. This is Damiano Vomaro that we're currently watching. Thinks they can make jump out of it. As Romaro currently trying to just that corner around, but it's tricky in those front-wheel drive cars, obviously, especially on a track like this, as I have mentioned before. Just not an easy one to be driving in. This is Maxi Nice that we are currently watching. Currently in P26 overall. Comes into the midfield of his own class, and speed differences are definitely there, right? You look at, for example, TGT3 class is currently fastest lap time that we have seen there is a 158.5 roughly by Maximilian Rohrig. And then you go and look at the TCR class, and they're doing 214s at best. So that is quite the difference on a track like this, and it's mainly got to do with downforce, I believe, in the corners, where the TCR is just losing so much time, and in the tight corners going on the throttle, and having that understeer is obviously definitely not helping it, and they know it too. Benjamin Fiddlacker standing still in the inside of the corner. What's happened there then? Just standing still and enjoying the views, but that's not what you want to see. You want to see him drive, and doesn't seem like he's had any damage of some sort, but kind of weird. This is Patrick Siska now back in third position. Had to fight for it a little bit after we saw that interesting kind of mistake being made there. So everything kind of goes just plan as you might expect it to. Patrick Siska in P3 right now. Maximilian Rohrig still currently leading, and that hasn't really changed around or anything like that, really. Maximilian Rohrig in P1 currently. And that's just kind of been the story of this entire race. Just really hasn't been challenged to his position. He just seems to be on it right now. Haven't really seen any changes in that whatsoever currently. Gotta just keep our eyes out, see if there is gonna be a change later on. I don't expect him to kind of fall off at all. He's just been on it, and he's just been doing a very solid run throughout the entire race so far, and time obviously will continue to tick away, so as long as he keeps this up, he's never really gonna be in trouble by any means, so yeah. No winner. We do see 5 more seconds being ended out here to Alexander Erben, but Ingo Werner currently chasing now Christian Schreiber, a driver who was very quick, and this is the battle for second position with Perfect also coming in now, so that will be an interesting one. See also just another long pits being applied there. Same to say that this has been a rough one for essentially everyone. The winner trying just to make the most out of it. And obviously trying to also see if it's possible maybe to keep up. It's one of those races where anything can happen. We're watching the Cooper being swung around into the corners, but even the difference between the TCR cars to me is quite a weird one, you know. We are seeing some things around there changing quite significantly. This is Daniel Catalin we're watching. We're seeing that he has correctly passed 3 of these TCR cars, and will now try and get a cap out to them. Alexander Erben's also trying to participate into it. To make most out of it. There, just another battle between these two here. Alexander Erben and Pascal Smits, for example, having a go around here. Exciting stuff ahead here. Also see just Racing Mary picking up a long pits penalty. Now, it's safe to say that it's just been one of those races where, you know, it's gone a bit crazy. We see Alexander Erben here coming to a halt as he's had a little bit of a moment there going off, and it's not going to make it easier by any means. This is Jonathan Fiddleck that we're watching. Marcus Schoen also gets himself a long pits, which is a shame because he's been having a good race so far, but that's now fortunately a little bit gone. We can try to just go at it all again, but it's a tough one here. The Fiddleck currently in that 4th position. It's going to be glad position he's into, but knows that maybe more is possible. Just going to see what happens here. He's trying to make the most work out of it. But once again, the BMW proving to be the fastest cars on track, and it makes me wonder if there's anything to say about a possible BOP not really being applied the way that I want them to. This is Maximilian Röhrig then. Currently in first position. We see just more penalties coming out here. 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane for Damiano Amaro, and that's going to cost a little bit of time here. It's only 5, but it's still pretty significant overall if you really start counting just how much laps you need to drive faster and to make that up. It's, yeah, 5 seconds faster for 10 laps, and then it suddenly does sound like a challenge. Fabian Klein also gets himself a penalty here, and that's an unfortunate position that he's in. And oh, Marco Coffertini has a moment. Into the wall he goes. That's rough. Look at that spoiler. It's completely messed up now. Positive thing is he's close to the pits here, but oh, that is not good. Look at the suspension. Looks like it's almost arched into the car here, and to make it even worse, yeah, he's like, where do I even go? Can I pit? Can I not pit? And eventually he does find his way in, but it's cost him plenty of time, fortunately for him. Yeah, a little bit of a rough one. That's what happens here. We see another drive-through coming out for cutting, and those are automated actually. Another long pits is handed out here to Daniele Gattani, and the penalties, they just keep stacking up here. Now, obviously, some of these are from earlier in the race, but stewards, they need time to have a look at them manually. Just because of that, it might actually take a moment to see them applied. This is Engelbana getting another one. Now, to fit like navigating traffic nicely here. So it all continues. Oh, a little bit of a moment there for the Cooper behind. Oh, and he crosses just like that. Able to avoid it though. Jonathan Fittenlake is trying to navigate traffic here, which is not easy. And yeah, Max Sinise are also losing a little bit of time. He's trying to chase down Rudy Hamsar, who is driving from the same location as they're both in Koblenz right now. But we have kind of reached that magical mark here, right? 28 minutes to go. We're under half an hour. And it kind of makes everything shape up a little bit better now. We have a feeling of what's going on. Maximilian Röhrig is obviously good to win that race. And we see that, you know, Sharon Schreiber's having a really good one in the TCR car right now. So things continue. Damiano Amaro obviously also had that penalty coming in a little bit earlier, but we'll have to deal with the consequences here as he moves his way through the corners nicely. It's so satisfying to see cars like this being swung around as it stands. Our penalties coming out here, although this one's actually just being taken right now. It's Nolan coming in to serve that penalty and has done so successfully, and therefore it is now cleared. You know, it is just one of those that take a long time to just get over with, and Yamsaru currently in the 26th position, and overall obviously doing a little bit better in this class alone. Fabian Spies we're watching in the Renault. It's interesting to see that the TCR class also is just a little bit more unique cars into it, right? You're expecting eventually to see maybe a little bit of a new push. We could see cars like the Lincoln Co come in. That's an interesting one to say the least. Marcus Schoen here in the P8. Jason Larry here in the Audi. Jimmy Fiddleback here. Now it's got a long way to go from P30 overall. It's last position currently. Folder driver still driving as Christian Schreiber has a... Oh no, he has a long pits penalty. He's already back in second place after being overtaken, but yeah, we'll have to serve that. That's rough, man. It's gonna cost quite a fair bit of work. Just also looking to come in behind here. Johannes in P5, this is a good result, let's be honest here. Now Sebastian Haase just also fine with the slower class traffic, but seems to doing so nicely. Sebastian Haase here just doing a good job of keeping it all together, right? We're kind of seeing him go a little bit wide here. It's definitely on edge, and gotta be careful that he doesn't go over the edge, because that might just continue to make the results a little bit worse, but so far so good here. Keeps it all in order. This is just exactly what we needed from him. Maximilian Rurik currently still the race leader. I must say, I've really been expecting anything else from him. It's just been one of those races where he's got his thing on lockdown, and Werner here trying to make work for him. We do see Fabian Spies now also once again dealing with that faster traffic coming up, right? We see Rurik coming by here. Johannes has gotten a long pits penalty, so it will soon all let up. You know, we've seen so many penalties all across, it feels like. That's part of it too, you know. Now obviously the battle coming in from right behind. You see just how many of these drivers have been tapped already. There's a potential move down the inside, but that's not to pull through with it. The Cooper there. There may be a little bit of understeer here for Fabian Spies. And there's the contact being made, then being spun around. Luckily gets the car going in the right direction, but contact's pretty bad for both, and they both go off and lose a lot of time there. Now the Cooper does actually end up going ahead. It is going to be Rudy Hamster who's able to continue his way out of there, gains that position, but probably not in the way that he wanted to. So that's a little bit rough there, I do need to admit. This is Jonathan Fidlak then still. Third position behind Patrick Siska, who's just done a massive job of keeping it all together, and that alone is worth honestly a little bit. It is been a rough race here for all of those drivers, keep that in mind, and 75 minutes of racing is really not nothing, you know, so yeah, impressive stuff ahead there. Just a little bit over 20 minutes to go at this point. So things continue as they are. Just like that, things are going to plan for these top drivers. Jörg Koch was going to be mixed feelings about this. It's not a bad result for him, that's obviously true, but we're hoping for just a little bit more throughout this process here, and just like that, it's looking to come to an end. For him soon. Jonathan Fidlak's also picked up another penalty here. Looking too good for give him really. Just like that. We're seeing that they can just also just flatten this out a little bit, right? We're not seeing many positional changes coming through anymore whatsoever. That's also, of course, a big part of it right now. Everything going good. Nürburgring also getting himself now a long pits penalty, and that might spice things up here. That's going to cost him time. I don't feel like it's also went to the pits though, so by being 13 seconds behind at first. Interestingly enough, that feels like it would make a difference, you know. It's definitely just like that, yeah, for everything they could have accounted for. These penalties will come as a big hit. Some of them just really messing some of these drivers up immediately. Which is definitely a tough side here. unfortunately, it is all part of that process, you know. This is Patrick Siska still doing a massive job right in. Just one of the 3 BMWs that's hanging around at the top, you know, it's definitely a driver thing, most of it, but I can't imagine that, you know, they're not getting a small advantage, at least to say, from the car that we're currently watching, right? The BMWs. We swap over to Michael Bauer in P5 in that 1H Lexus, the longest running GT3 car on the grid. Now it's a car that obviously might get replaced by the new Toyota GT3 that we're seeing coming in. Right, the Toyota GR GT3. Bauer here also looking to just snoop off it, you know. This is a little bit of a great one. 15 minutes to go. We're gonna see some sense here around, and you see that Jonathan Fidlak's trying to escape, and you know, I think that Honda's just come at pretty much the worst timing that could have been, which is a shame for him because things were going so well up until that point, right? So yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's part of it. Charisse, the driver that we're currently watching. You could just see how exciting it really is. Mona Cherie also trying to just come across it and making things work. Just coming up there nicely. Norbert Dewald still ahead here of Nolan Cherie. The gap's just too big. A little bit of non-board there. Bauer still in a solid P5. He's going to score some good points for the championship. Currently, see being a little bit further down. Michael Bauer in P12, having missed the first race, and keeps us up. That's great for him. This is Alexander Erben. That scores some decent to good points here, but is P3 in the championship, so was maybe hoping for just a little bit more here. Hasn't really been his race in that sense. So things continue. Alexander Hawk also looking to just come in a little bit here. That's a little bit of a sketchy one. it work though. Could have gone really, really wrong, but luckily just keeps the car on edge. Now the downside of a GT3 car is that it's a little bit unstable once you actually get it sliding, but TCRs, they can actually handle a fair bit of door-to-door contact and driving over curbs. Sebastian Haase gets a 5-second penalty. That's going to make it worse for him to catch up. The gap's quite big anyways. So interesting to follow along with that. The thing that you need to keep in mind is that these TCRs are front-wheel drive, so once you just have that oversteer, you can just apply the throttle and it'll straighten itself out. Most of the time. And that's a great thing there. And just that makes it so much more fun, you know, to have a look around. And Hawk also looking to come around here. They can do. And Hawk also looking to come in here. For Jan for watching, also from the Koblenz location. So things go the way they are, right? It's kind of just all settled in. See, the gaps are kind of growing here between all the drivers, and it makes sense after such a long time, right? This going to be quite an interesting to follow along with. Jason Murray, 28 in the class, will be looking to make up some more positions here. Time is the essence, of course. This is Cedric Abiadi we are currently working with. 7.5 minutes left to go. Getting towards the end of it here. This is now Farina also serving that penalty. That's really taking a while. And Urban also looking to come around here. We'll see what happens. Alexander Urban looking to come around. You know, just as time is coming out, you can see Pascal Smith still trying to keep his hopes up here for a potential top 5 finish, currently in 6th place. Need to make something work here. Pascal Smith's also looking to come around here. So things are the way that they are. And look at this now, also just Sebastian Haase coming through, while the two TCRs keep fighting. So the things go the way that they are expected to. Yeah, things are just going quite smoothly. I must say that I'm really impressed with the way that these races have gone, right? It's just the complete opposite of what we saw over at the Red Bull Ring for the first time. Just some great results coming out. So it currently stands then. Now it's Maximilian Röhrig who's going to win it quite dominantly. No big surprises there. Sebastian Haase is right in behind him, and then it's Patrick Siska. He's also going to be posting a nice podium positions here, and Fabian Klein will take the win most likely, as Pascal Smits will get another penalty towards the end of it by the looks of it. And Chris Johannes going right in between. So Chris Johannes Schreiber in P2. Alexander Hawk currently in P3, and he'll do a great job making up some points here. But yeah, the obviously driver was currently in P5 is going to be happy with the way Spa went, but he missed out on Laguna Seca, has missed out on valuable points that way. And Fabian Klein obviously is the driver who's currently won 2 out of 2 races and will be looking to bring that back up, right, and just go and fight for it just again. And he just seems to be unstoppable right now, right? Kind of, whereas we have that competition element still very much in the GT3s, 2 drivers in the same position. He is so for 1-2 in a row and will likely make it 3 in a row here, as Silverstone has been a good result for all of them. Fabian Klein currently P17. Hoping for a good result for himself and currently looking to post so. Nico Bauer in P5. See that the penalties are being taken here last minute. Obviously, you have to serve them in most cases. Time penalties are also applied. Those could be added later. That's no surprise there. Jonathan Fiddleback here in P4. Trying to make the most out of it. Looking to dance around here. The result has been brilliant for him so far this season, and we do see now that the move up is there. Patrick Siska in P3. Supposing a good result, had one small moment, but other than that, it's been a clean race from him. So obviously the time is almost over now, just a few more seconds to go. And it's just a matter of waiting for Maximilian Roerich to come in. See that another 5 seconds of race direction has just been applied. Vincent Valenzuela will take it, and he will be serving that just added to his post-race time, because there's no other way to really do this, right? So yeah, good result for Patrick Siska here in P3. Sebastian Haase in P2 has done a massive job of keeping it clean, but clearly didn't have the pace to match Maximilian Roerich this time around, although slightly catching. Maximilian Roerich is just so far gone, right? 30 seconds, it's just absolutely spectacular. And yeah, Maximilian Roerich on this last lap of the race just has one thing to do now, and that's bring it home. And no matter what, he's looking to post that result. And so coming through the right-hander here, he has got everything on lockdown here. It's all gone his way, and it's just going to be, you know, such an impressive drive here, where he is once again just the one to beat, and just hasn't been able to really make it close. You know, he's obviously trying to maybe slow down a little bit too, because it's just unfair at this point. But no, jokes aside, it's an incredible race from him. And, you know, this is also showing that he has the pace for it, and he has the consistency for it, and he's done everything right this race. Now, it's basically been a race without mistakes for him. Yeah, may come around and just be a happy man here at the end of it all. As he's about to cross the corner, he should be at the end of his lap here, and it's going to be just a well-deserved victory here. The win is there for Maximilian Roerich. He will take it. The 75 minutes of Spa-Francorchamps, excuse me, Silverstone are his. Sebastian Haase is in P2 and will try and finish ahead. There's just got a couple more corners to go here. The gap behind is big enough. It should be at least. There we see now, yeah, just was getting his 5-second penalty cleared and added to his total race time instead. He's not coming in anymore. Sebastian Haase will take a well-deserved victory here at Silverstone, where he will be in P2 after a very good result. Patrick Siska is also looking to come around and get a good result. Their podium points it is, and for Siska, that's a good result here, making up quite a bit of points that he is currently behind everyone. So yeah, good job by him. And from P8, pushing himself up quite far, obviously having no points from Spa. Fabian Klein will take the 3 out of 3 here in the TCR standings. It is just absolutely incredible race. It's honestly incredible how fast this man is, and you can see the victory donuts being added here. Jonathan Fiddleback's gotten another penalty towards the end of it. Yeah, the celebrations are there, and rightfully so, I think. A very clean race here, I must admit, by all of the other drivers as we wait for Michael Bauer to cross the line. Jonathan Fiddleback sure will get that penalty, but that's actually not going to make a difference to anything at all, really. It's a good race from him, staying trouble-free, scoring good points in a P5. He will be happy with that. Alexander Erben will be a little bit disappointed here, but in the end, you know, it's still a decent finish here in this class, so, you know, could definitely have been worth taking the curb quite aggressively in the last lap, but he's done a good job at it, and he keeps it all together. As more and more drivers will come in, this is Damiano Vomaro we're aboard with. But the order seems kind of set right now. But Rorik, Haase, Siska, Fidelak and Bauer in the top 5. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that it's Fabian Klein who takes the victory in his class. And he's done such a good job at it, right? So yeah, Fabian Klein takes P1. Then it's Christian Schreiber, Alexander Haag, Ingo Werner and Alexander Erwin to close out the top 5. Now Stuttgart gets a 10-second penalty at the end, but we might see some more penalties here being applied post-race too. But overall, you know, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute blast. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Ricky from Odyssey Broadcasting. We'll be back probably at the Red Bull Ring. Otherwise, I'll see you guys over at Portimao. It's always gonna be a spectacular race, a tricky one for driving standards, but I'm sure that the drivers can manage it. So let's keep our eyes out on that. Max Reese crosses the line here now too. And, well, one thing last to say, that's make sure you subscribe to the Nürburgring Esports YouTube channel to stay updated with all the other races. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.